Hello everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at this Lights of America 30 watt Circline electronically ballasted adapter. Now this is an interesting one. I've come across these Lights of America adapters before in these pretty plain boxes, and I think that these were probably bundled together in a box of many more and given to hotels or businesses or places that have a lot of lamps or lights where they want to install these, so they want to get them in bulk, and thus they don't have to do the fancy packaging that you would find at, Lowe's or Home Depot or something along those lines. So on the front of the box here, all we have is just a picture of the adapter and the Circline bulb itself. Of course, it gives a whole bunch of examples of where you can use this bulb. UL listed, Lights of America, made in USA, except bulb. They really want you to know that right off the bat. They're going to tell you. Okay, so we got the old Lights of America logo here. Not much on the top. On the side, we can see what model this is. So it looks like there's a whole bunch of different 30 watt models. I'm going to guess the 30 in this model name is that. I'm going to guess some of these are like high power factor. I'm not sure what DIP means. Maybe there's medium power factor. I don't know. This must be low, terrible power factor, apparently. It's supposed to equal a 150 watt bulb. And look at that. We have a CRI of 84. We have our spectrometer here. We're definitely going to test that out. Of course, electronic ballast. On the back, we have all kinds of information as to how to install this. Now inside, as you can hear, there are some adapters, and they show them here in the picture. If the harp of your lamp is a little too small, you can install these plastic adapters, and that makes the harp bigger, so you can put the ballast in the middle there. So that's the information here on the back. On the other side, you can see their optional accessory. You could get this cover for it. Would be really cool to find one of these covers. I have not come across one in person yet. And other information as well. Again, nothing on the bottom. So let's go ahead and see what is inside. We have the Circline adapter already put together. So let's grab that out of here. And in the bottom, we have our two adapters, nothing else inside. It's a pretty sturdy cardboard box. So these would go over your harp on the sides, and then your harp would, of course, go over these two, and then you'd slide the little clasps over to hold it in place. It just extends it out so you can accommodate this larger ballast. Now, I'm sure being electronic, they could have used a smaller enclosure that was thinner and, designed the PCB a little bit differently, but they didn't seem to go with that approach here. Now this, as previously mentioned, is a 30 watt Circline adapter, not 22 watt. For comparison, here is a 22 watt preheat Circline adapter, and my main thing here is to show you that a 30 watt bulb is bigger in diameter than a 22 watt bulb. As you see, if we put these over each other, it's ever so slightly bigger, so they're not compatible with each other. So if I were to take this out, note that we just have two wires here, so we must have some type of starting helper in here. If we take off our plug here, take it off of the holder, we'll do the same thing here. And we try to put on our 22 watt bulb, we will find it does not fit. It does not fit at all. Same thing with our 30 watt bulb on our 22 watt adapter. It's just too big. The bulb itself says Lights of America 30 watt Japan. I wonder what the original manufacturer was. Pretty nice looking bulb. Of course, the adapter itself, made in USA. We got the Lights of America logo there in the middle. And again, our plug, it only has the two wires, so it has to have some type of starting assistor in there, whether it be a resistor, well, actually a capacitor. It would be some type of capacitor. I found a 20 watt version of one of these at the Restore a long time ago, and it wouldn't start. Turned out that the capacitor inside of here was bad. I took it out, put a glow bottle starter in there, and it worked perfectly fine. So if that ever goes bad, you can just replace it with an actual starter, and you get a electronically ballasted preheat circuit. Pretty cool. Of course, this thing is incredibly light. I'd say the bulb is heavier than the adapter itself. Pretty standard Lights of America affair here with their design on the bottom. This is model 2030, 118 volt, 60 hertz, 30 watt. See instructions for proper use. Okay then. So that's our adapter. Let's go ahead and put it back on our bulb here. Back in the day, I remember seeing one of these at Walmart of all places. And I remember picking it up. My parents got it for me. We used it in our pantry for many years. It was 30 watt, just like this one. And it had 4 wires coming out of the electronic ballast instead of 2 like this one. So it must have been a later model. This one must have been earlier, using similar components to their preheat versions. I don't know exactly what happened to that adapter. I know it's still in the collection somewhere, but it's no longer in use in the pantry. The pantry currently has a Sylvania 100 watt incandescent. So that is our adapter. Let's go ahead and get our socket here. Of course, we need to try this thing out. There we go. And we'll turn off the lights. Okay, with all of our lights off, let's turn it on here in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Definitely, it's cold out here, so it needs a little bit to warm up. It's a little brighter here at the moment, but it's definitely warming up pretty quickly. You can see kind of the mercury vapor color here at the ends. It's a little bluer. Yeah, once this thing warms up, it'll be bright. I'm sure this is the first time it's ever been turned on. At the moment, we're at 118 volts, or 118.8, 0.4 amps, 29 watts. It's now 28.8 for some reason. And we have a power factor of 0.6. 28.8 still for the watts. And 118.8 volts. So let's let this thing warm up a little bit here. It's definitely starting to get there, and we'll revisit it. We've let the bulb sit and warm up. It's definitely a lot brighter now. Does it equal 150 watts? I don't know, maybe. It's so hard, it's not, concentrated into a filament like a 150 watt bulb would be. But it's definitely bright, I'll give it that. So, we booted up the Sekonic here, our spectrometer, and I'm going to hold the bulb at our 2-foot mark here. So we're 2 feet away from the meter. Let me put it right in the center here. That will be our 2-foot mark right underneath our position. So let's go ahead and hit measure. There we go. And we'll hit measure one more time with it right next to the bulb, just to make sure we get a really good reading. I know this looks super scientific. Here we go. But I'd rather be correct about it. Okay, let's get our lights turned back on here. And we'll take a look at what our graphs have to say. So here is the spectrum of the bulb 2 feet away from the sensor, and the CRI of the bulb 2 feet away from the sensor. As you can see, it's 85 point whatever it shows on the screen, and the box said that it would be 84. And of course now we have the spectrum of the bulb right up next to it, and the CRI of the bulb, which is 85.7. So definitely a little bit better than the 84 that they said on the box. Gotta love these Circle Line adapters. This was right toward the end there where they weren't preheat anymore. And of course everything was going to spiral CFLs, so these were kind of falling out of favor. But I have found with these electronically ballasted Lights of America adapters, they do last a very long time. So if I put this thing in use, I expect it to last, well, quite a while. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn it off here. We'll turn it on one more time just to see if there's anything spectacular. I kind of doubt it, but here we go. Has a little bit of a, flicker pulse there. Maybe it's a program start or something. Got a little bit of a glow there. Yeah, a little bit of something to try to ease the bulb on is my guess. Now, naturally, this is not dimmable. I'm not going to put it on the Variac this time. It'll just dim and then flicker a lot, and I don't really want that to happen. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video looking at the Lights of America 30-watt Circline adapter. Very nice, electronically ballasted Circline, well, whole thing. As always, I do hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, be sure to give it a like down below and leave a comment. I do enjoy reading all of your comments. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great videos like this one. Also check out my secondary channel Merkove and subscribe over there for more behind the scenes and alternative content. Of course, check out the other videos here on this screen, and as always, thank you very much for watching.